Aloha, it's CreativeNameToStandOut again with another battle report. This time we're playing an Escalation game. It's the second tier of our Escalation series. We're at 1,000 points and it should be a lot of fun. And in case you're listening there, Reef, I've already felt the tremendous impact that you had on my channel by merely mentioning my name on yours. I've already lost one subscriber, so thank you very much. Alright, so joking aside, we'll look at deployment. Here we see his archers, his handgunners, his unit of spearmen with his BSB, and then another unit of handgunners. Again, he forgot them and he substituted my Dark Elves for it. And then over here we have cannon. He'll later move his wizard in between the handgunners and the cav. And then finally we have his cav. And then looking at my left flank, we have my warhounds and then my dragon ogres. And then in the center we have my warriors, the general of my army, Cacus, and then some warhounds. Rounding out the right are my Dragon Ogres, and then he wins the roll-off for Vanguards, and he moves his Pistoliers towards the center. I then move my left unit of Warhounds further to the left and up, and I don't move my center Warhounds because they don't have anywhere to go unless they want to go towards the Pistoliers, which will just get them killed very easily. So after that, we go into Warriors of Chaos turn 1, and we'll see what I do. Alright, so since my Vanguard moves get me way up there on the left flank and my Dragon Ogres are just naturally faster than the Warriors, I have this swinging door motion going on here. It also helps that I kept my Warhounds back. There's nowhere that those Pistoliers can go without being threatened with a charge. His safest best bet is to just come down and get to a position where only the dogs can see him, and he can just take that charge and probably beat the dogs, but I just don't want him to have a free pass threading through my lines. So that's the plan, if you can call it a plan, and we'll go on to my magic phase. Alright, so my opponent's best unit against me is his fast cav. It's the hardest one, at least for me to deal with, because I can only deal with it through magic. Otherwise, I can't get to him. So I'm going to use my magic to try to get rid of it. The first thing I do is I cast Blue Fire here, and I kill a couple guys. He passes his toughness test and gets regen. And then I go over to this fast cav unit. I do get Firestorm off, and I only kill, I kill 4 out of 5, and then that last guy also gets regen. Alright, so no points yet, but now we go into his turn, and this is what the board looks like. And then my opponent surprises me. I should have seen this coming, but he charges down the hill towards my dogs. I didn't think about that at all. I just thought he would stand and shoot at me. And then over here, he also charges his last Pistolier into my dogs. I feel like that's a pretty good matchup for me. Alright, so we go into the Empire magic phase, and it's not, mind-blowing, but it's good enough for the Empire. He gets Enchanted Blades off on his Pistolier. Over here, he shoots at these Dragon Ogres, but he can't get to them because there's a forest. Then over here, we have my Dragon Ogres getting a wound from the other Handgunner unit. Over here, the cannon misfires, and then we go into combat with the Pistolier. He's able to do 1 wound, and I don't do any back, but I stick. The archers unsheathe their swords, yell a cry of battle, and run down the hill. They kill about 2 dogs, I believe. I break, he chases after them, and he doesn't catch them, but he also overran just to get out of the charge arc of my Dragon Ogres. So it was a really good move, and unfortunately very unexpected. I declare a charge with my Dragon Ogres against the Spearmen, and I fail it. And then over here, the reason why I don't try to charge with my Dragon Ogres, and I do go ahead and decide to hop over the swamp, is because the swamp is the mist swamp, where if you fail an initiative check, you lose d6 models from the unit, which will probably just wipe out that unit. I think I'm only initiative 2, I only have 3 models. Chances are I was going to lose all 3 of them. So I just march across it. I'm not afraid of the knights. There's only 5 of them, and I have great weapons. So I'm pretty confident I can handle the knights on a charge. And finally, in the movement phase, I just moved the warriors up to hopefully get a charge next turn. Alright, so we go into the magic phase of the second Warriors of Chaos turn, and Zinch is incredibly fickle. I get a ton of dice to cast powers. I'm able to get off 2. 1 is very successful. I get off d6 hits, all 6 of them. I do all the wounds. He fails his toughness test, kill more, wipe out the entire detachment of handgunners. And then I go to cast Bolt of Change, get it off, and roll 1 to wound. So I'm not able to kill the wizard. So fickle, fickle, fickle. Finally, the Pistolier beats the dogs in combat again and runs them down. Alright, so the game's pretty close here in Empire turn 2, and my opponent pulls off another daring move. He declares a charge of the Spearmen down the hill at the Dragon Ogres, the fear-causing Dragon Ogres and the fear-causing forest. So it's really brave. This is awesome. I like it. Cinematic, great. And then of course he brings his cav and runs them into my dragon ogres. And of course I'm not worried about this at all, either one of them, because I have dragon ogres and they look mean and menacing and powerful. Alright, over here the pistolier moves to shoot one of my guys in the back, and then on the far left we have the archers pivoting to take some shots. Alright, so we go into the Empire Magic phase, and he rolls up a bunch of dice, and he's able to do a little bit with it. He tries to go with Final Transmutation, not going to have it, so I stop it. That gives him free reign on the other two spells. He gets Glittering Robes on the Spearman, and then Enchanted Blades he doesn't roll high enough. In the end, he shoots one of these guys in the back and moves on to combat. Alright, so on the right flank, we both kind of whiff at each other. He wins combat, but because he couldn't kill at least one of my models, I'm still steadfast and I stick. So you remember when I said I wasn't worried about this left flank at all? Let me tell you why I wasn't worried about it. Let me explain my tactical strategic thoughts about this battle. I was thinking, hey, I have Dragon Ogres here. They're 4 times as big as those Empire guys. I got these impressive giant, weapons that can just mulch a man-sized creature in two. They're impressive. They're scary, Don't have to worry about them. I'm just going to push them forward like it's nothing. I'm not scared of those Empire Spearmen. Okay, that's my strategy. So we go over to my opponent's strategy. What is he thinking? He's like, okay, I have a BSB, a standard, multiple ranks, the Griffin standard. I'm on a hill and I can charge. Clearly, I have no idea why I've lost this combat. I think both of the sides had equal strategies. I guess I just lost the coin flip in that, and so I lose combat. I break. Thankfully, he has the Griffin standard. He can't pursue me, and he turns to face the flank of my Chaos Warriors. So I am a little bit nervous. I see an opportunity here to kill his general. So I take it, I charge the general, and of course he flees. And there's no way I'm going to catch him, and he doesn't go off the board. It was so close. I'm forced to redirect, but I fail the charge into the heavy cav. And then over here, my Dragon Ogres unfortunately do not rally. They're still scared. Alright, so we go into the magic phase, and unfortunately my magic phase is cut short when I irresistibly cast a Doom Bolt, which does nothing to the cannon I was shooting at. And with that, I lose all my levels and all my spells. Finally, we end the turn with a combat over here, and I kill all the heavy cav except one, and that one sticks. Alright, so here we go into Empire 3, and he has an opportunity here just to kill my Dragon Ogres by pushing them off the board, and that's exactly what he does. The archers charge them and they flee. And then finally he just takes my flank here, and we go into magic. My opponent, being a good sport, decided that having a magic phase was too unfair, and he decided to miscast, and he lost all his spells and levels. Alright, so we go into combat, and he issues a challenge, or I issue a challenge, doesn't really matter. He gets in that challenge, and he kills my champion. I then proceed to just butcher his unit, and as a result, I don't think I lose, and I'm able to reform. Alright, so I'm able to finish off the night, which gets me a good chunk of points. We go into my turn, no magic, no shooting, so I wipe out the spearman, take the lead. Over here he shoots his cannon down the flank of my unit and kills a bunch of warriors, I think 4 of them. And then the next turn I fail a charge. He shoots with this cannon again, misfires and blows up. Now my Dragon Ogres have nowhere to hit. And his skirmishers can move too much to where my warrior block won't be able to get him. He's already kind of at an angle in my flank. I can turn to face and he'll be able to get back out of that angle. So it ends up, he takes 2 more rounds of shooting at my warriors, and I'm just not able to lose enough to really get him back into it. And there you have it. So another Dark Elf, what am I talking about? Warriors of Chaos win. And pretty good game. I wish I could say I won this based on my great decision making, but I think if you really think about it, my opponent played really a better game. He made some great decisions, some very great cinematic moves coming down the hill. That was probably my biggest mistake, forgetting how strategically valuable a hill can be. My opponent was able to remind me of it. And it's just Warriors of Chaos are tough. They can weather through some stupid mistakes that their owner makes and still come through with the win. So, good game to my opponent. He played really well, and I just got lucky there. So this is the first game over 1,000 points. We're going to play a second game coming up this week. I'll make sure to post it up. And one other thing I want to look at before I close this out. Entertain me for a second. Just stare at the picture, look at it, try to find something. Alright, you got a good look. Now let's go over here. Same picture, different angle, and you can see my character back there. Just look at the other picture again. And I think if you study this picture, you can be reasonable. Maybe it's a little inflammatory to say, but maybe it's reasonable for me to argue that you could not see the sorcerer on the other side of the unit, nor can you really see the models behind the models in the unit. Um, so I say all this because I know that I've heard many times on YouTube channels, yada yada yada, that true line of sight's bad for the game because it's gray. True line of sight's, may be bad for the game. I'm not going to argue that point, but I am going to say that maybe true line of sight isn't as gray as we, think it is. And so if we all kind of approach the true line of sight under kind of more of a reasonable pretense, um, unless in a more hypothetical context, the idea that hypothetically it's impossible to hide a model, and more in the our eyes are not precise scientific instruments with laser pointers on them, so that they could hypothetically see any point on the table that has any sort of void to be seen. So I don't know. I feel like that's how most games I see are played. Even where I play, I guess they kind of play along the lines of that theory of true line of sight rather than the actuality of true line of sight. So I guess what I would generally say, not trying to be controversial, probably not a good thing for me to do right now, but I'm going to try. I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. But maybe you can't put the cannonball in the third rank of a unit, or maybe you can't shoot this wizard who's clearly very far from its unit with a unit that's on the other side of the unit, just because hypothetically there might be a space between the cape that might let you see the staff of the wizard. I don't know. I don't know. Again, maybe not a good time to be posting something that could, be disruptive to somebody's opinion of the game. But I had this great picture. I just want to talk about it. So I hope you like it. I hope you like the video. I do appreciate all your likes, all your subscriptions and comments, and I'll see you guys next time.